A new era is emerging. If my mouse works, it's like, otherwise it will not. Who's familiar with this place? Anyone in the audience? That's a difficult one.
Is it Dubai?
Sorry?
Is it Dubai?
No, this is SeaWorld in San Diego. And for me this is representative of the current era we're living in, the Anthropocene, with a difficult word. So if we look here, we see a small pool. This holds 6 orcas, and we see a massive parking lot. It's what I would call an imbalance. And yeah, it represents the disruptive effect that we are having on our planet as a species, and which is captured in this Anthropocene, which is named after us as humans, which is, I think, is a dubious honor. So I agree with the previous speaker. Dovadas, Wednesday, sorry. The future can be bright, but we need to accelerate our efforts. And there is an alternative path that I'd like to discuss. It's called the Symbiocene. Also a bit of a tongue breaker. It's derived from the word symbiosis. Is anyone familiar with that term?
Yeah.
Could you explain it, in words?
So, symbiosis etymologically means to live together. So, depending on the context, it can mean maybe live together with each other, live together with the environment, something on those terms.
You're completely right. So these two, this bird, which is like a woodpecker type of bird, and this man who's from Mozambique, from the Yao tribe, they're living together. They have mutual benefit from their relationship because this bird, a honey guide, well, does what his name describes, leads this man to the honey. High up in the trees, can you imagine in Mozambique with the scorching sun and the lions prowling in the savannah? The bird guiding the way and this man getting that sweet golden nectar. And well, the bird gets the beeswax. That's what he's in for. And well, they both benefit. Now I can, perhaps your thoughts, okay James, sounds great, but very vague, you know, how make this Symbiocene a bit more concrete. So let me give that a try. Okay, when you see these two pieces of clothing, you might be thinking, is the serial killer Ed Gein making a comeback? Has he risen from the dead, and rather than wearing the skin of his victims as a mask, he has a more fashionable approach? No. This is vegan leather. It's made from kombucha, which is sort of a tea. And they add a bacteria culture to it, and then it grows into a sort of fabric that you can use. And if it's out of fashion, throw it in the garden. And it's completely compostable, and beautiful flowers will surely arise from it. Quite astounding, is it not? Well, I can imagine that you think, okay James, does this scale, you know, is it economically feasible? And don't ask me such difficult questions. We're going to proceed. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about the Symbiocene, how did it arise. When you see this man, you might think Jacques d'Ancona. Has he become a botanical man, and has he had his eyes lasered? No, this is Glenn Albrecht. He's an Australian philosopher. And actually, he was inspired by this alternative era because his hometown was being ravished by these big bulldozers due to iron mining. And it inspired him to think of a new term, solastalgia, which means from, well, sola is Greek for comfort actually, and stalgia is sort of missing something, like nostalgia. So it is missing your hometown because it is not anymore what it was, but it has been transformed in a negative way. And I think when it comes to transition to a better future and climate action, which is this brighter future that the Symbiocene is sort of inspiring for, I think we should take action as individuals and not wait for the government or the policymakers, because they're behaving a bit like teenagers that are discovering sex. Now everyone is talking about it, no one exactly knows how to do it, so everyone just says they're doing it. but no one is doing anything, at least not enough. So it inspired me to start Bravio, which is Latin for a terrain that is difficult to navigate. I'm really bombarding you with a lot of difficult terms. At least the Romans were able to convey a lot with little words, something I yet have to learn. But with Bravio, I want to use my 15 years as a lean process consultant and innovation consultant in the financial industry to help companies that can make a change in this shift to sustainability, to accelerate their innovation. We can see this as a sort of balancing act. On the one hand, you need to offer value as an organization to your stakeholders, and be it if you're for profit or not, it's not relevant. You need to deliver continuous value and improve your process and keep your customers happy. Whilst also in the 2 to 5, 7 year term, be able to innovate. What are the products and services of tomorrow? You need to think of this. This is a constant balancing act. That is something that I'm knowledgeable in, and as a freelancer I will help companies that are active in sustainability with, starting with power grid providers like Leiden, for instance, Rotterdam. So to wrap this up, I'm not expecting you guys to go to Africa and find some nice species to live in harmony with in a symbiotic relationship. It would be really nice. But just small steps, you know. Basically, buy less, demand more. Just think, what are you consuming? Is it a bullshit product? Is it something you really need? Where is it coming from? Yeah, just be more aware of how you can make a positive change and live more in balance with this beautiful planet. Thank you so much.